The wait is finally over, fellow gamers. It's hard to believe that 12 long years have passed since the original Dead Island took the gaming world by storm back in 2011. The road to creating its sequel, Dead Island 2, has been nothing short of a roller coaster ride, as the project faced an 8-year development hell cycle bouncing between 3 different studios before ultimately finding its home with Dambuster Studios, tasked with salvaging the chaos. First announced in 2014, Dead Island 2 became an infamous meme as the game that would never see the light of day. After such a tumultuous journey and a game of studio hot potato, you might expect Dead Island 2 to be a directionless disaster. However, after completing my playthrough, I can confidently say that it defied these grim expectations. Now, I wouldn't claim that it's a groundbreaking game or a genre-defining moment for zombie titles, but I can assure you that Dead Island 2 offers an experience we haven't had in a long time. So lace up those sneakers, stretch out those muscles, and crank up the music as we journey through the zombie-infested nightmare that is Hell A. Now let's start with the game's performance and optimization. I'm happy to report that I encountered absolutely 0 performance issues during my playthrough. Not a single crash, and the game ran buttery smooth from start to finish. Even amidst the chaos of intense explosions, the frame rate remained rock solid. Hats off to Dambuster Studios for their impressive work. Furthermore, I didn't stumble upon any game-breaking bugs such as quest malfunctioning or being unable to turn in missions. Nothing that could put a damper on my experience. Admittedly, I did manage to get myself stuck on a wall after attempting to climb a pole, for reasons unknown. Maybe I watched the Mario movie one too many times. But that little hiccup was self-inflicted, and I'm pleased to say that I didn't experience any other glitches throughout my playthrough. Dead Island's 2 optimization is truly top-notch and left me thoroughly impressed. It's important to keep in mind I played this title on the PC, so I can't speak for consoles. The narrative here is, that's the best phrase I can use to describe it. Don't be confused here, this is not a direct sequel to the first installment, although you will recognize some familiar faces. The story and narrative of Dead Island 2 is set in the once glamorous city of Los Angeles. The game takes us on a narrowing journey from the glitz of Beverly Hills to the sun-soaked sands of Venice Beach. A deadly virus has transformed Los Angeles into a nightmarish hellscape, with the military retreating and leaving the city under quarantine. As a bitten but immune protagonist, you must uncover the truth behind the outbreak and determine your own identity, while helping a diverse cast of characters escape the apocalyptic reality. The story is brought to life with fully voice-acted cutscenes and dialogue. While some lines can be a bit cheesy or cringeworthy, it's impressive that all 6 playable characters have their own unique voices, personalities, and characteristics. I chose to play as Danny, a tough, foul-mouthed, rockabilly brawler from Ireland. Each survivor has 2 innate skills that hint at their background and potential playstyle. The narrative itself is decent, but not groundbreaking. Dambuster stuck to its roots, going for a more over-the-top, cheesy approach rather than taking itself too serious all the time. Although certain parts of the story try to force these serious moments on you. While it doesn't deliver any shocking twists or gut-wrenching character deaths that left me contemplating life, it remains engaging enough, thanks largely to the superb voice acting and goofy tone. So, although the story may not redefine the zombie genre, the immersive performances made it digestible from start to finish, and some characters were much more memorable than others. Next up, let's talk about one of the game's most remarkable aspects, the graphics. Dead Island 2 is simply breathtaking, from the high quality textures to the realistic shadows and reflections. I often found myself pausing to admire the stunning backdrops, which added to the immersion. While I played at 1440 max settings, I can only imagine how incredible the visuals would be in 4K. Dambuster Studios did an outstanding job capturing the diverse locales of Los Angeles and selecting a vibrant color palette that perfectly complements each setting. I'm grateful they ditched the overused orange tint seen in the early 2014 pre-alpha footage, as the current palette is far more pleasing to the eye. The character design is equally impressive, with lifelike facial expressions and the best looking zombies I've ever seen, complete with gory dismemberment and detailed textures. The attention to detail is what truly sets Dead Island 2 apart. For example, depending on your location in the game, Zombies are dressed as if they died in the middle of their daily activities. When exploring the sun-soaked Venice beach, I encountered zombies in swimwear, while at the police station, I faced undead officers in uniform. This level of detail remains consistent throughout the entire game, adding to the realism and making it impossible to overlook. Dead Island 2's graphics exceeded all my expectations, especially considering the game doesn't rely on ray tracing. Combined with smooth, stable frame rates, the game's visuals enhance the overall experience, making it a feast for the eyes and a true testament to the developer's dedication. Dead Island takes us on a thrilling journey across Los Angeles. Despite not being an actual island, the city provides a diverse array of locations and combat scenarios that keep the gameplay fresh and engaging. From the luxurious streets of Beverly Hills to the sandy shores of Venice Beach, and even the glamorous Monarch Studios, the game offers detailed and unique hubs instead of opting for a generic open world approach. This decision by Dambuster Studios pays off as each area feels meticulously crafted, boasting a wide range of vibrant and immersive environments. Players can find themselves in the dark depths of the sewers one moment and walking the star-studded red carpet of Hollywood the next. The game captures the essence of Los Angeles, showcasing the city's many facets and ensuring that every location feels purposeful, filled with valuable loot or intriguing quests. Close quarters combat in some areas can evoke a sense of claustrophobia, which adds to the intensity and excitement of the gameplay, making it a preferable choice over the open world format. It's also important to note that they took out vehicles this go around and added in a fast travel system for quicker traversal. I'll admit, initially, I was skeptical about the choice of Los Angeles as a setting, but after experiencing the game's rich and varied environments, I can confidently say it was the perfect decision. The combat in Dead Island 2 is, for the most part, an enjoyable experience. Slicing and dicing through hordes of zombies has never been more satisfying, thanks to the game's innovative dismemberment technology that allows for strategic, location-specific damage. Players have access to 19 different melee weapons, though not all 19 feel distinctively different. Heavy, blunt weapons like axes and mallets pack a punch and are great for taking down larger groups, while sharper weapons like cleavers, machetes, and knives offer speed and precision. Upgrading your arsenal with elemental effects adds depth and strategy when facing various zombie types. Additionally, Dead Island 2 features 6 firearms that changes the game's dynamics once acquired midway through the story. The gunplay is smooth and responsive, with satisfying animations for shooting, reloading, and aiming. However, the guns tend to make the game significantly easier, shifting the focus away from melee combat. To counterbalance this, the game introduces bullet-resistant zombie types, but they are too few far in between. Guns should have been introduced later in the game, with ammunition being more rare to maintain the focus on melee combat. Throughout the game, players must balance offense and defense by dodging and blocking, which is rewarded with powerful counterattacks. Environmental interactions such as using electricity with water to damage enemies adds an extra layer of strategy to the combat. Transforming into a powerful zombie yourself by going into a fury is fun once unlocked, though I wish more abilities could have been added. Also, utilizing curveballs or throwable items also enhances the gameplay experience. These range from the chem bomb that is used to extinguish flames in enemies that are on fire, but you also have shurikens, grenades, Molotov cocktails, and meat bait, and you have access to 2 of these at a time, which allows for some strategic pairing. Many enemy types require different strategies, keeping the combat engaging. Keeping away from self-exploding bursters, finding an opening against the quick-moving butchers, and prioritizing those annoying screamers that call upon more zombie friends, I constantly had to change my approach, especially later in the game when they start mixing all of these together in play spaces. However, the game falls short in the boss department, with most bosses being little more than beefed up versions of regular enemies. Even the final boss fight was underwhelming. In summary, Dead Island 2's combat is enjoyable and engaging, but it becomes repetitive in the later stages and relies too heavily on firearms when ammo is available, which is often. The game boasts a diverse range of enemy types, but underwhelming boss battles and a lackluster weapon upgrade system hold it back from reaching its full potential. The combat system provides a solid foundation for a sequel, and with some refinements and a smoother development cycle, it could truly shine and be one of the best in the industry. I'll be honest, I have mixed feelings about the questing in Dead Island 2. The main quests often involve going to an area, clearing out zombies, and interacting with breakers or destroying maglocks to access important quest items. Other times, the main quest objectives simply required you to kill them all, which happened quite frequently, especially in the later half of the game. Many of these main quests don't offer good rewards. You're going to want to do side quests for those. However, despite these repetitive elements, the constant introduction of cool new locations, zombie types, and curveballs prevented the experience from becoming stale, as it might have in other games. Would I have liked to see more effort put into these quests? Absolutely. But it's clear that Dambuster's primary focus was to deliver a fun, zombie slaying experience that doesn't take itself too seriously, even though the narrative might suggest otherwise. The side quests were often more engaging than the main story missions. My favorite one, set in Bel Air, takes you to a content creation house filled with green screens, sets, gaming rooms, and other cool amenities. You're tasked with taking out zombies in creative ways so that one of the influencers can gain popularity on social media. This mission perfectly captures the essence of Dead Island, a lighthearted and goofy tone combined with the iconic Los Angeles setting. Questing in Dead Island 2 isn't groundbreaking. In fact, it's quite average. However, the enjoyable side quests and the lost and found missions, which encourage players to explore the detailed and immersive locations, add depth and variety to the game. While there's room for improvement, the overall questing experience doesn't detract from the fun and chaotic nature of the zombie slaying action. Just don't go in with much expectation of puzzles or unique quest mechanics that will appease your dopamine. In Dead Island 2, the gameplay systems revolve around the skill cards, which play a crucial role in strengthening your character. There are 4 main categories: Innate, Survivor, Slayer, and Newman. Primarily attained by leveling up through killing zombies and completing quests, some cards can also be found by exploring the game world thoroughly. As you progress through the game, you unlock new cards, gain more health, and gain access to higher level weapons. However, the weapon modding system is disappointingly basic, with a limited selection of effects and upgrades. Additionally, while the skill card system does make your character stronger, there isn't enough uniqueness or variety to encourage frequent switching between cards or developing a truly personalized playstyle. You aren't unlocking abilities that offer new swinging animations on sledgehammers or uppercuts on swords, or anything like that at all. It's just status effects added to the weapon. While Dead Island 2 offers some interesting gameplay systems with its skill cards, the lack of depth in both weapon modding and the card system leaves room for improvement. In conclusion, Dead Island 2 earns a 7 out of 10 for its engaging voice acting, beautiful locations, and enjoyable, albeit repetitive combat. Now keep in mind that I did play this game solo dolo, so there may be fun to have with friends if you're looking for a fun cooperative experience. Despite its development cycle challenges, Dambuster Studios managed to deliver an above average game, which is quite an achievement. The game's environments are incredibly detailed and well designed, capturing the essence of Los Angeles and offering a variety of interesting locations to explore. However, the game's repetitive nature and lack of depth in its gameplay systems, such as the skill cards and weapon modding, hold it back from reaching its full potential. With more variety and creativity in these systems, Dead Island 2 could have provided players with a richer, more immersive experience. Looking to the future, there is certainly room for improvement in this franchise. Enhancements could include more diverse and unique skill cards, a deeper and more intricate weapon modding system, and a wider range of quests that challenge players in new and exciting ways. By addressing these areas, Dead Island 2's successors have the potential to elevate the series to new heights. All things considered, Dead Island 2 is a solid game that offers players a fun zombie slaying experience, and given its tumultuous development history, Dambuster Studios deserves credit for creating a game that, while not perfect, still delivers a good dose of entertainment. With that in mind, it's difficult to recommend Dead Island 2 at its current $70 price tag, especially when you consider that some of the most highly anticipated games of the year are just around the corner. My advice would be to hold off on purchasing this one and wait for a sale instead. That's all I have for this review. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Dead Island 2. Did it meet your expectations? Share your opinions in the comments below. As we look forward to the future of this series, do you think Dead Island 3 will build upon and refine the existing formula, or will it face yet another turbulent development cycle?
Find out next time on Chronicles.